I legitimately was crying laughing at the ending of this week's episode of Mission Yozakura Family, whatever the show's called. It legitimately is one of the funniest things I've seen in a hot minute. The point of this episode is that there's a bomber trying to go after our main girl. Makes sense, she's the head of the family, this, that, and the third. Understandable, sure. There's out of pocket, and then there's tweeting your death as you're about to explode. Buddy gets yeeted into the sky, and without missing a beat, in a few seconds, pulls out his phone to goddamn twatter and, gonna blow up, gonna die soon. He might as well just put F in the chat just to seal the deal. And the fact that she hearts the one tweet, and I'm like, I was sold after last week. I was in for the long haul up until that point in this episode. But that heart, it sent me into cardiac arrest or near close to it. Fantastic. Full live reaction over on my Patreon if you want to see my full uncut thoughts or me absolutely break from that ending. It's over there if you're interested. So, I have a good idea of what to expect from this 27 episode anime now. Every part of my bones say that I want to believe this is a 10 to 13 episode season because this type of show usually would get funded for such. I'm blown away by the fact that we're getting 27 episodes back to back. Not that I'm complaining, I'm just shocked. I can already get the impression that for a lot of the episodes we could have like, Killer of the Week or, eventually we'll probably have certain things where maybe it lasts for 2 or 3 episodes potentially. I can kind of get an impression of where the formula might want to go, but the idea of almost taking Spy Family meets Iruma-kun level cast with maybe a hint of Assassination Classroom, mix it into a big mixing bowl, and we get this anime. I like what I'm seeing. The art style is pretty consistent with what they've shown. I can see how this show could get a few bumps along the way if the action starts getting a little too crazy and they don't really have break episodes. But I think the art style is simplistic enough that they should be able to manage. And in general, like I said last week, you could take the central 2 lovebirds and throw them in Assassination Classroom, and their character designs feel like they match that crew. The personality of the main family, who are confirmed to have superpowers outside of our main girl, because that's just how the head of the family works in terms of the bloodlines and stuff. Very interesting lore, I'll say. Everything about this is actually pretty incredible. And a part of me wants to say, I don't get it, because I recently went back and read the synopsis, took a look at some of the trailers they released, character PVs that they released before this started, and it doesn't look that good. I'm not saying that the actual show's bad. I loved the first 2 episodes. Fantastic. But everything about this show doesn't feel like it should be that good. But there is something so charming about having an Iruma-kun style cast, which is one of my favorite cast dynamics in a school series, because there's just something so great about that demon school and a singular human trying to blend in. The way the cast interacts is just fantastic. And I get a very similar vibe if the cast wanted to kill characters a bit more than in that show. And that's kind of where the Assassination Classroom stuff comes in. It's like, okay, even though the whole point of a show like that is they're trying to kill their teacher, it still is oddly wholesome for most of the show, right? So it's interesting how we have this siscon, this overly obsessive bro who I thought he blew up our boy's home at the start of the episode. If he did, there would have been no redeeming him in my opinion, but the fact that he saved their life really kind of, shields him for now. We move into the main family's home by the end, because of course we do, where else are we gonna sleep, and honestly it'll probably be the safest. But it's there's something so interesting about having this overly obsessive brother, who I think would make Yuri from Spy Family say, that guy's a bit of a weirdo, which is saying a lot. Yet still come out saying, okay, I kind of get it, especially when you drop the lore about why the 10th member of the family is literally the head of the family, why they all follow her, why they protect her. I mean, they all have to give their life, it's overly obsessive, but then it's not as creepy as it could have been, but he still raises an eyebrow or two, or at least I know that's how I'm feeling. But it's interesting because it's okay, you marry into the family to save your life and to protect her from being sheltered. But then you get the shattering realization that, oh shit, every day of your life is going to be living hell because people are going to try to kill her. And it's interesting, it's around the midway point or a little after that when he accepts a chocolate from the group of boys who were trying to be his friend last episode and he just shot him down. We get the confirmation that it's oh, it's interesting because she never accepts food from other people. She's always around other people. The idea that she's had to live her life on guard and really be on edge, yet continue to have that positivity, that happy-go-lucky phase. It's got to be a very stressful and almost lonely life, because even though she has her family protecting her, it obviously is different, right? She has that burden of being basically the head of the family while also knowing everyone's trying to kill you every step of the way. And now she has her childhood friend who, you know, is her quote-unquote husband. It's a weird situation where it's like marriage, but it's not marriage in the typical sense. But it's like, it's so interesting because you can just tell the chemistry between these two, but also how, like, she's so protective of him, like the way that she'll shut down her brother for being a psychopath, but then how he'll also be there for her. The ending sequence of him jumping out of the window to save her and to be exploded so she wouldn't was really interesting, and the fact that it felt like it really earned the respect of this psychopath, because he's like, listen, you keep that shit up, I'll help you out. Because now he's starting to see, like, okay, this guy has a smart mouth, but he's actually willing to die to save, you know, my precious little sister. I can mess with this guy. Insert I'm tweeting my death as I'm exploding. Comedy gold. The show is way better than it ought to be, and this is only the intro, and I've had some people who are a big fan of the source material say it's only going to get better. So fingers crossed, because I literally walked in with low expectations last week, left with high expectations, and somehow they succeeded those expectations with its second episode. Now here's the thing, I'm not insane, I'm not asking for every episode to surpass it, because at that point you're basically just trying to make the best anime of all time. There's going to be certain episodes that are going to be more fun than others, but it's like, I already love the vibe of the cast. I think it's great that they kind of confirmed that they have superpowers, because while I can suspend my sense of disbelief, the manipulation of the wires just feels too inhuman unless everything's technology wise. So I think it's important that they did that. They got away some good lore, info dumps, and honestly, episode 3 is going to be spicy because, I mean, already he's not happy that he's moving in. I can't wait for the episode at some point. I would be shocked if there's not at least one moment where they spend the same night together in bed. Not even asking for, like, sexy fun times. No, like there'll just be a reason for it. Romance building. Maybe she just feels uncomfortable. Big bro's gonna pop up like goddamn Jason with a machete, being like, "You sure about that?" It's gonna get spicy. The home situation is gonna be very fun, but honestly, I left saying that was one of the best first episodes of the season. I'm leaving saying that this could end up being one of the best second episodes of the season as well. I mean, this is a good show. Let me know what you thought down below, and how funny did you find that tweeting your own death? Because to me, that shit cracked my funny bone perfectly. But let me know what you thought down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell so you know if I want to upload more. And like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on my Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Flavor Dorks, 414, 12X, Drift, Sleek 4, Jesse Wright, and Casey Holscher. So I appreciate the support, everyone, and please take care and have a good one.